Hey everybody, welcome back for another deep dive with
I'm
us.
excited for this one.
Me too. This one is going to be good. We're going to be talking all about Sub2.
Right.
And as you guys know, every single week we go deep into different topics in real estate investing.
Right.
We look at books, we look at podcasts, we look at YouTube videos and kind of dissect all the good stuff and then report back to you guys with all the cool stuff that we learn.
Yeah. And we get to talk about it together too, which is nice.
I know, I love it. So today we are talking about this YouTube interview with Chris Thompson.
Yes. Chris Thompson, he's great.
And he is a realtor and an investor. So he's been in the real estate market for 18 years.
Yeah. He has seen a lot, which is pretty cool.
I know, it's really cool.
So he's seen the market like go up and go down.
Yeah, like the booms and the crashes.
Exactly. And recently he has been really into Sub2.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to be talking about today with Chris Thompson. We're going to learn all about how he got into Sub2 and all the cool stuff that he is doing with it.
Yeah. And I think what's really interesting is that even though he's been in real estate for so long, he actually had to unlearn a lot of what he knew to do Sub2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm really curious to hear about that process for him.
Yeah, so like 18 years of experience, you would think, like going into a new strategy would be easy peasy.
Right. You would think so.
But it wasn't for him.
No, he had to change his whole mindset about real estate, which I think is really interesting.
Oh, wow. So tell me about that. Like, what was that transition like for him, going from like traditional real estate into Sub2?
Yeah, so, in traditional real estate, it's all about like finding properties, negotiating prices, all that stuff. But Sub2 is a lot more creative, I think.
Oh, okay.
You're working with sellers who have like unique situations. Maybe they need to move quickly or they're dealing with a difficult tenant or something like that.
Well, so it's like a lot more problem solving.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really cool. So did Chris have any like aha moments when he first started getting into Sub2? Like, was there anything that was like a big surprise to him?
Yeah, well, he said that his first Sub2 deal was with a client who ended up paying $500 less than market value for their home.
What? $500 less?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I know it's a good deal for everyone involved.
And that's legal.
Yeah, totally legal.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Sub2, it's like a win-win for everyone.
Okay, so I'm sold already. But I'm curious, like, was there anything that Chris struggled with when he was first learning about Sub2?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for him was just the amount of information out there.
Oh, yeah.
He said it was like drinking from a fire hose,
I can imagine.
which I think a lot of people feel that way when they first start learning about Sub2.
Oh, yeah, because there's like so many different strategies and nuances.
Exactly. It can be overwhelming.
So how did he like overcome that feeling of being overwhelmed with information?
Well, he got some really good advice from Pace Morby, who's a big name in Sub2 world.
Okay, yeah.
And Pace's advice was to just focus on one or two strategies at a time.
Okay, so like master those before moving on.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And Chris said that he actually tried to do like 8 different strategies at once when he first started.
Oh, no.
Yeah, which is like a recipe for disaster.
You're going to get them all mixed up.
Exactly. And he said he learned a lot of lessons that way,
Oh, yeah.
the hard way.
Hard way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he definitely recommends picking one or two and sticking with those until you master them.
For sure.
Okay, that's a great tip. And it seems like the Sub2 community has been a really important part of Chris's journey.
Oh, absolutely. He talks about how valuable it is to be able to connect with other investors and learn from each other.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And he's not just a member of the community either. He's actually a regional leader for Western Maryland.
Oh, wow. So he's like really involved.
Yeah, he's really giving back to the community and helping other people get started with Sub2.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he really believes in it.
So Chris is a realtor. He's an investor. He's a regional leader for Sub2. Is there anything else this guy does?
Right. He's a busy guy.
He wears a lot of hats.
He does. He actually also flips houses. Yeah, he's flipped like 50 houses in his career. And right now he's working on 15 different projects in Ohio.
15 at the same time.
Yeah, at the same time.
Okay, Mr. Moneybags over here.
I know, right? He's killing it.
That's so cool.
So yeah, he's got a lot going on.
So tell me about his house flipping business. Like, how does that tie into his Sub2 work?
Yeah, so he had this really funny story about how in 2020 he developed this whole program for his traditional real estate clients called Fix and List.
Okay.
And he was like so proud of himself for coming up with this new idea.
Yeah.
And then he found out that the same concept already existed in Sub2.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he basically reinvented the wheel.
So he was like ahead of his time with traditional real estate.
Right, exactly. But it just goes to show you how innovative the Sub2 system is.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a good story.
So wait, what is Fix and List? Can you explain that for me?
Yeah, so basically it's just like what it sounds like. You take a property that needs some work,
Mm-hmm.
you fix it up, and then you list it for sale. And Chris is really good at it. He recently had a house that he fixed up, and it sold in just 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah, he's got the magic touch.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So is that like a common strategy within Sub2?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
common. And it can be really profitable if you know what you're doing.
Okay, so I'm learning so much already. But I'm curious about something Chris talked about, having a financial war chest. What is that?
Yeah, so a war chest is basically just a reserve of money that you set aside specifically for investing.
Okay.
And Chris believes that it's especially important to have a war chest for long-term rentals.
Why is that?
Well, because with long-term rentals, you're going to have unexpected expenses pop up. You know, things like repairs,
Yeah.
maintenance vacancies.
Right.
And if you don't have a war chest, those expenses can really eat into your profits.
Oh, that makes sense. So it's like a safety net.
Exactly. It's like a cushion that protects you from financial hardship.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. But how do you even start building a war chest? Like, where does that money come from?
Well, there are a lot of different ways to build a war chest. You can save up money from your job. You can invest in other assets like stocks or bonds. You can even get a side hustle.
Okay, so it's really about being proactive and finding ways to generate extra income.
Exactly. And the sooner you start building your war chest, the better.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm.
So you're saying Chris is a big believer in being prepared and having a solid financial foundation before jumping into real estate investing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He says that it helps you avoid analysis paralysis.
Analysis paralysis.
Yeah, you know, where you get so caught up in the numbers and the details that you never actually take action.
Oh, yeah, I've definitely been there.
We've all been there.
So having a war chest helps you feel more confident and secure when you're making investment decisions.
Exactly. It gives you the freedom to move quickly when you see a good opportunity.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And Chris also talked about the importance of building a team.
Oh, yeah, he's a big believer in that.
So what kind of team are we talking about here?
Well, he says you need a good contractor, a good property manager, a good lawyer.
Oh, yeah. Like all the essentials.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he says you should actually start building your team before you even have funding.
Really?
Yeah, he says it's all about having systems in place.
Okay, so it's about being proactive and having everything ready to go.
Exactly. And it also helps you build relationships with people who can help you succeed.
So it's like building your network.
Exactly.
That's a great tip. I think a lot of people wait until they're ready to invest before they start building their team. But Chris is saying that it's better to start early.
Absolutely.
The sooner the
Yeah.
better.
Okay, well, I'm sold. Chris Thompson is clearly a very smart and successful guy.
He is.
And I'm loving all these insights that he's sharing. But we're going to have to take a quick break right now.
Right.
But we will be right back with more from Chris Thompson, so don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. We are still talking with Chris Thompson about Sub2, and I'm really curious to hear more about this idea of having a financial war chest and like a really strong team in place before you even start investing.
Yeah, that was a really interesting point that he made.
It is. And he also talked about, his ADHD and dyslexia and how he kind of sees those things as his superpowers.
Yeah, that was really inspiring.
So how do those things kind of play into his real estate ventures?
Well, he said that his ADHD helps him to see opportunities that other people miss.
Oh, okay.
You know, he's always thinking outside the box and coming up with new ideas.
Yeah.
And then his dyslexia, he said, has helped him to develop really strong visual and spatial skills,
Oh, that's interesting.
which is obviously really helpful in real estate when you're trying to visualize, renovations or see the potential in a property.
Absolutely. So it's like he's
Yeah.
taking these things that, society often labels as like weaknesses or challenges, and he's like flipping them on their head.
Exactly. He's turning them into strengths.
That's really powerful. And it seems like he's also a big believer in personal development.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like he's constantly trying to improve himself and learn new things.
Yeah, he actually mentioned this book called Limitless by Jim Quick,
Okay.
and it's all about unlocking the potential of your brain.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a really good book.
So it's not just about real estate, it's about like overall personal growth.
Exactly. It's about becoming the best version of yourself.
I love that. And I think that's something that's really important for anyone who wants to be successful in any area of life.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to grow and learn and evolve.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So speaking of learning, Chris talked a lot about the Sub2 community and how important that has been for his journey.
Yeah, he really emphasized the value of community.
So how has that community kind of shaped his experience with Sub2?
Well, he said that the connections he's made, the knowledge he's gained, the support he's received, it's all been invaluable.
Yeah.
And he's not just taking from the community either. He's also giving back.
Right. He's a regional leader.
Exactly. He's really passionate about helping other investors succeed.
So it's like a two-way street.
Exactly.
That's really cool. So we talk about, house flipping, Sub2, regional leader for Sub2. Is there anything else that Chris is involved in?
Well, he's actually also dabbled in midterm rentals.
Midterm rentals.
Yeah, you know those rentals that are like between a month and a year?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he got into that through connections he made in the Sub2 community.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he partnered with some people who specialized in that niche.
So he's like always looking for new opportunities to grow and learn.
Exactly.
I love that. So is he still doing midterm rentals?
He's actually scaling back a bit on that right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's focusing more on his Sub2 and house flipping businesses.
Makes sense. So it seems like the Sub2 community is like a really big part of his life.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's really active in it.
So tell me about some of the things that he does within the community.
Well, he's a regular at the Power Hour meetups in Mount Airy, Maryland.
Power Hour. What is that?
So it's basically just a bunch of investors who get together to network, share ideas, solve problems.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's a really great way to connect with other people in the industry.
So it's not like those stuffy networking events where everyone's just trying to sell each other something?
No,
Huh.
not at all. It's very casual and laid back.
Okay, that sounds way more fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And Chris said that they actually used to do cold calling at these meetups.
Oh, no.
I know.
Yeah.
But they've shifted away from that now.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, it's much better now. They just focus on open networking.
I like that. So it's more about building relationships and helping each other out.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So what else happens at these Power Hour meetups?
So they have guest speakers sometimes.
Oh, cool.
And they do like workshops and training sessions.
So it's like a really great learning opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
It's nice.
I mean, it's free.
Well, it depends on the event, but a lot of them are free.
That's amazing.
Mm.
So anyone can just show up. Yeah. Chris encourages anyone who's interested in Sub2 to come check it out.
That's really cool. So it sounds like a really supportive and welcoming community.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And did you say Pace Morby was involved with this community?
Yeah, Pace actually showed up at a recent Power Hour event.
No way.
Yeah, it was a big surprise.
That's awesome.
Yeah, everyone's really excited to see him.
So he's like a celebrity in the Sub2 world.
Pretty much.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, it just shows you how much he cares about the community.
Yeah, definitely. So Chris really seems to admire Pace Morby.
Oh, yeah, he does. He actually said that he thinks Pace is fulfilling his life purpose by leading this community and helping people achieve financial freedom.
Wow, that's a really powerful statement.
It is.
Mm.
And I think it speaks to the impact that Pace has had on so many people's lives.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
So Chris is a realtor, he's an investor, he's a regional leader for Sub2, he's dabbled in midterm rentals, he's active in the Sub2 community. What else can you tell me about this guy?
Well, he's also got some pretty ambitious goals for the future.
Oh, yeah. What are those?
He wants to own 300 cash flowing rental units.
300.
Yeah,
That's a lot of units.
it is. But he's determined to make it happen.
So how is he planning on achieving that goal?
Well, he's currently focused on buying properties in a few different markets.
Okay. Which markets?
Cleveland to Columbus, Banning, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and Hagerstown, Maryland.
So those are like his target markets.
Exactly.
Okay, so he's really focused on those specific areas.
Yeah, he's got a buy box.
A buy box.
Yeah, it's like a set of criteria that he uses to filter out properties.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So he's only looking at properties that meet his specific criteria.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
So if anyone out there has any deals in those markets, they should definitely reach out to Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. He's always looking for new opportunities.
And how can people connect with him?
He's on Instagram.
Okay, awesome. So if you guys are interested in learning more about Sub2 or if you have any deals in those markets, definitely check out Chris Thompson on Instagram.
Yeah, he's a great resource.
Awesome. Well, this has been super insightful. I'm learning so much about Sub2 and about Chris Thompson.
Me too. He's a really inspiring guy.
He is, and I love his whole approach to real estate investing. It's not just about the money. It's about personal growth. It's about community. It's about making a positive impact.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love that.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have to wrap things up here. But before we go, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into the world of Sub2.
It's been a pleasure.
And a huge shout out to Chris Thompson for sharing his insights with us.
Yes. Thank you, Chris.
We learned so much from him, and we hope that you guys did too.
Definitely.
So until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.
See you later.
All right, welcome back to the show. You guys, we are wrapping up our deep dive into Sub2 with Chris Thompson.
I always feel like I learned so much from these deep dives with you.
Me too. I feel like every time we do one of these, I walk away just feeling so inspired and just ready to tackle new things and learn new things.
Well, and Chris's story is so inspiring. I mean, he had a really successful career as a realtor, and then he discovered Sub2, and it kind of like opened up this whole new world for him.
Yeah, it's like he reinvented himself.
Yeah, exactly. And he's not afraid to try new things and experiment and learn from his mistakes.
And it seems like that mindset has really been a key factor in his success.
Oh, absolutely. He talked about how he views his ADHD and dyslexia as superpowers, and that's just such a powerful way of looking at things.
Yeah, it's like he's taking what society often sees as like weaknesses or challenges, and he's like flipping the script and saying like, no, these are actually my strengths.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important lesson for all of us. We all have our own unique quirks and challenges, but it's how we perceive those things that really determines whether they hold us back or propel us forward.
I love that. So it's all about perspective.
Exactly. And Chris has such a positive perspective on everything. He's always looking for the good, and he's always finding ways to turn challenges into opportunities.
And that's so evident in his approach to Sub2. He's always thinking outside the box and finding creative solutions to problems.
Yeah, and he's not afraid to take risks, but he's also very calculated about it.
Right, he talked about the importance of having a financial war chest and a strong team in place before you even start investing.
Yeah, that was a really great point, and it's something that I think a lot of new investors overlook.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of finding a deal, but it's so important to have that solid foundation in place first.
Exactly. You need to be prepared for the unexpected.
And Chris is also a big believer in community.
Oh, yeah. He talked a lot about the value of connecting with other investors and learning from each other.
And he's not just talking the talk, he's walking the walk, too.
Right. He's a regional leader for Sub2, and he's really active in the community.
And he's always willing to help other investors succeed.
Yeah, he's a true mentor.
And I think that's what's so inspiring about Chris's story. It's not just about the money for him. It's about making a difference and helping other people achieve their goals.
Yeah, he's definitely paying it forward.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And thank you to Chris Thompson for sharing his insights with us.
Chris is the best.
He really is. And if you guys are interested in learning more about Sub2, we highly recommend checking out Chris Thompson on Instagram.
Yeah, he's a great resource.
All right, guys, until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.